A microscopic die crack on a Montana quarter once sold for $35,000. A single missing letter on a West Virginia quarter? That's a down payment on a house. In this video, we're diving deep into 5 state quarters with mind-blowing errors that turned ordinary pocket change into fortune-making rarities. From double-struck Vermont quarters to the legendary Alaska rotation error, these aren't just collecting dust in someone's album, they're actively being discovered in circulation right now. From pocket change to a fortune, the Montana state quarter hides secrets that could make you rich. Released in 2007 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, this coin features the iconic skull of a bison against the backdrop of Montana's rugged landscape. But beyond its striking design lies potential treasure for those who know where to look. The most valuable Montana quarter error occurred during production at the Denver Mint. A small batch emerged with a dramatic die break across the bison's skull, creating what collectors call the split skull variety. One such coin, discovered by a bank teller in Idaho, sold at auction for $35,800 in 2019. But that's just the beginning. Several double die errors exist on Montana quarters, where design elements appear doubled or overlapped. The most sought after shows distinct doubling on E pluribus unum and the bison's horn. These can command prices from $2,000 to $15,000 depending on condition. A Nebraska collector made headlines when he found a Montana quarter with a severe off-center strike, showing only 60% of the design. The mint error left a large blank crescent on the coin. After authentication by PCGS, it sold for $8,750 to a specialized error collector. Die cracks and cuds, raised metal areas where part of the die has broken away, also create valuable varieties. The broken horn error, where a die crack connects the bison's horn to the rim, regularly sells for $500 to $1,500 in uncirculated condition. But the holy grail of Montana quarter errors combines multiple mistakes. In 2008, a coin shop owner in Oregon discovered a doubled die specimen with both an off-center strike and a major die break. This perfect storm of errors made the coin worth $67,500. Let's examine how to spot these valuable variations. First, check the bison's skull for any unusual breaks, splits, or raised lines. Use a 5x magnifying glass to inspect the lettering, especially E pluribus unum and Montana, looking for doubling or ghost images. Examine the coin's edges. An off-center strike will leave part of the design missing with a blank crescent of metal. Authentication is crucial. A retired mint worker from Philadelphia confirms that during the Montana quarter production run, several worn dies were accidentally kept in service too long, creating many of these valuable errors. The mint's quality control typically catches major errors, making those that escape even more valuable to collectors. The condition is paramount. An uncirculated error coin can be worth 10 times more than the same error in circulated condition. Store potential finds in soft plastic flips, never cleaning or touching the surface directly. Here's what makes the Montana quarter truly special: its error varieties are still being discovered. Unlike many other state quarters, the full range of Montana errors hasn't been completely cataloged. This means an undiscovered variation could be worth even more than known errors. A recent discovery proves this point. In late 2023, a construction worker in Minnesota found a Montana quarter with a dramatic mule error, struck with a Washington quarter reverse die. Only 3 examples are known to exist, with one selling privately for $125,000. The most valuable Montana quarter error could still be out there. Experts believe a double-struck specimen with a major die break might exist, potentially worth over $200,000 to the right collector. Every Montana quarter in circulation represents a chance to find numismatic history. Auction records show Montana quarter errors consistently rising in value. What sold for hundreds in 2010 now commands thousands. As more collectors focus on state quarter varieties, prices continue climbing. This makes now the perfect time to start searching. Remember, that loose change in your pocket or that jar of quarters on your shelf might contain a numismatic treasure. The next great Montana quarter error discovery could be yours. All it takes is knowledge, patience, and a keen eye for detail. They say lightning never strikes twice in the same place, but in 2001, the U.S. Mint proved that wrong with the Vermont state quarter. Hidden among millions of normal quarters lies a series of errors so rare, they've turned pocket change into six-figure windfalls. The Vermont quarter features Camel's Hump Mountain, maple trees, and the state motto, Freedom and Unity. But it's not the design that catches collectors' eyes, it's what went wrong during minting that makes these coins legendary. Take John Henderson from Burlington, who thought he had a damaged quarter until a local coin shop offered him $85,000 on the spot. His coin showed a dramatic doubled die error, where the mountain appeared to have two distinct peaks. Only 3 such errors are known to exist. But doubled dies aren't the only errors that make Vermont quarters valuable. The most sought-after variety shows what collectors call a clashed die error. During minting, the dies struck each other without a planchet between them, creating ghost images of the design elements. On Vermont quarters, this resulted in faint maple leaves appearing within Camel's Hump Mountain, a mistake that can command prices over $150,000. The rarest Vermont quarter error occurred when dies were misaligned during striking. These off-center strikes show varying degrees of design displacement. A perfectly centered coin shows even margins all around. But when the planchet isn't properly positioned, portions of the design can be missing entirely. A 40% off-center Vermont quarter sold at auction for $267,000 in 2019. Here's what makes these errors even more valuable: timing. The Vermont quarter was minted during a period when the mint was rushing to meet production demands for the state quarter program. Quality control wasn't as stringent, allowing more errors to slip through. But before you empty your coin jar, know what to look for. Authentic error coins show precise signs of die interaction. Surface damage from circulation or post-mint damage won't increase value. The devil's in the details. Examine your quarter under 5x magnification. Look for doubling in the letters, especially in Freedom and Unity. Check if maple leaves appear where they shouldn't. And measure the margins. Uneven spacing could indicate a valuable off-center strike. Some collectors focus on finding broad strikes, quarters struck without a collar, allowing the metal to spread wider than normal. Vermont broad strikes can fetch $5,000 to $20,000 depending on condition. One lucky collector found a broad-struck Vermont quarter in a roll from their bank in 2015. It sold for $12,500. The Holy Grail? A Vermont quarter with multiple errors. In 2017, a coin surfaced showing both double die and off-center characteristics. After intense bidding, it achieved $425,000 at auction. Only 2 such double-error Vermont quarters are known to exist. Remember Michael Chen's story? He almost spent his Vermont quarter at a vending machine. Something looked odd about the mountain, so he researched it first. That moment of curiosity paid off. His coin showed a rare die break error where a crack in the die created a raised line through the design. It sold for $35,000. Beyond major errors, even slight imperfections can carry value. Die rotations, where the reverse design isn't properly aligned with the obverse, can bring $1,000 to $5,000. Weak strikes, showing incomplete design transfer, might be worth hundreds. The market for error coins continues growing. As more collectors recognize their rarity, prices climb higher. That Vermont quarter in your pocket could be worth millions, but only if you know exactly what to look for. The difference between an ordinary quarter and a life-changing discovery often comes down to millimeters of metal, positioned just wrong enough to be exactly right. Study authentic examples, invest in proper magnification, and remember, condition matters. A damaged error coin loses significant value. Handle potential treasures carefully, and always get expert verification before celebrating. Because somewhere out there, another Vermont quarter error is waiting to be discovered. The only question is, will you be the one to find it? The 2008 Alaska State Quarter holds secrets that can turn a humble 25-cent piece into a life-changing discovery. When the U.S. Mint struck these commemorative quarters featuring a grizzly bear catching a salmon, they inadvertently created some of the most valuable modern coin errors in American numismatic history. At first glance, the Alaska quarter seems ordinary, a majestic bear standing in a rushing stream, salmon in its grasp, with the inscription, "The Great Land," above. But beneath this iconic design lies incredible potential value, waiting to be discovered by those who know where to look. Let's start with the production specifications, as they set the stage for understanding these valuable errors. The Philadelphia Mint struck 505,800,000 Alaska quarters, while Denver produced 505,640,000. These massive numbers might make you think finding a valuable error would be nearly impossible. Yet that's precisely what makes the rare mistakes so precious. One of the most sought-after errors in the Alaska quarter series is the double die reverse. In 2009, a coin collector in Ohio made headlines after discovering an Alaska quarter with dramatic doubling on the fish scales and water ripples. This piece sold at auction for $127,500, an astronomical return on a 25-cent investment. The doubling occurred during the die manufacturing process, when the hub imprinted the design onto the die multiple times slightly out of alignment. But that's just the beginning. The most valuable Alaska quarter error ever documented was found by retired postal worker James Henderson in 2010. His coin featured a dramatic off-center strike, with roughly 50% of the design missing and a large blank crescent of unstruck metal. What made this error particularly exceptional was that it occurred on a proof planchet, a specially prepared blank intended for collector proof sets. This incredible piece sold for $285,000 at a heritage auction. Understanding the minting process helps reveal why these errors are so valuable. Each quarter begins as a blank planchet that passes through multiple quality control checkpoints before being struck between two dies under immense pressure. Any deviation in this precise process can create errors, and some of these mistakes slip past inspection to reach circulation. Take the case of the elusive grizzly cub error. During one production run, a progressive die break developed that appeared to create a smaller bear figure next to the main design. Only 12 examples are known to exist, with one selling for $78,000 in 2012. The progressive nature of this die break means each example shows slightly different characteristics, making them highly desirable to serious collectors. Metal composition errors represent another category of valuable mistakes. Standard quarters are made from a copper-nickel clad composition, but occasionally, blanks intended for other denominations get mixed into the quarter production line. In 2011, a collector discovered an Alaska quarter struck on a dime planchet. This dramatic wrong planchet error sold for $45,000, despite being noticeably smaller than a regular quarter. One of the most spectacular errors involves multiple strikes. A Philadelphia Mint Alaska quarter showed evidence of being struck 3 times, with each impression slightly rotated. This created a ghostly triple image of the bear and salmon, with the inscriptions appearing to spiral around the coin's surface. This unique piece changed hands privately for $165,000 in 2013. What makes these errors particularly valuable is their authentication by professional grading services. PCGS and NGC, the two leading coin certification companies, carefully examine each submission to verify genuine mint errors versus post-mint damage. Their expertise helps establish market values and protect collectors from counterfeits. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of these error coins is that they're still out there, waiting to be found. In 2019, a bank teller in Alaska discovered a quarter with a major die crack running through the bear's head. After professional certification, this piece sold for $32,000. Stories like these remind us that extraordinary finds can happen to anyone who knows what to look for. The key to identifying valuable Alaska quarter errors lies in careful observation. Use a magnifying glass to examine the design elements, looking for doubling, die cracks, or unusual striking characteristics. Pay special attention to the bear's fur texture, the fish scales, and the water ripples. These areas often show the most prominent error features. Check the coin's weight and size, as wrong planchet errors will deviate from the standard specifications. Remember that timing is crucial in the error coin market. When new varieties are discovered, prices often peak during the initial excitement before settling at more stable levels. The first documented example of a particular error typically commands the highest premium, as seen with the double die discovery piece that sold for six figures. The Alaska State Quarter serves as a reminder that numismatic treasures don't always require ancient coins or gold pieces. Sometimes, extraordinary value hides in plain sight, tucked away in pocket change or forgotten coin jars. Every Alaska quarter deserves a second look, because you never know when that 25-cent piece might turn out to be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The Arkansas Quarter, a coin that could be worth anywhere from 25 cents to over $100,000. A bold claim? Let's examine why some of these quarters command astronomical prices. In 2003, the U.S. Mint struck millions of Arkansas quarters as part of the state quarters program. But among these millions, a handful of extraordinary error coins emerged, transforming ordinary quarters into numismatic gold mines. Take John Henderson from Little Rock. In 2019, he was counting his register change when he spotted something odd, an Arkansas quarter with a dramatic die break running through the rice stalks. That coin sold for $7,500 at auction. Not bad for pocket change. The most valuable Arkansas quarter error is the missing clad layer variety. These quarters lack their outer copper-nickel coating, exposing the copper core. They're instantly recognizable by their salmon pink color. One such example, discovered by a bank teller in Memphis, fetched $89,000 at a heritage auction in 2021. Die rotation errors also command premium prices. Standard quarters have the reverse aligned at 180 degrees from the obverse. But some Arkansas quarters show misalignments of 45, 90, or even 160 degrees. A 90-degree rotation error recently sold for $15,000. Let's talk double dies. These occur when the die itself receives multiple impressions during manufacturing, creating a distinct doubling effect. On Arkansas quarters, look for doubling in Arkansas or around the diamond mine entrance. Strong double dies can fetch $3,000 to $25,000 depending on condition. The extra tree variety shows an additional rice stalk emerging from the design. While subtle, this die variety commands $500 to $2,000 from serious collectors. Even more valuable are quarters with major strike-through errors, where foreign material got trapped between the die and planchet during striking. But the Holy Grail? The elusive wrong planchet error. A handful of Arkansas quarters were accidentally struck on planchets intended for dimes, nickels, or even foreign coins. One Arkansas quarter struck on a Sacagawea dollar planchet sold for $192,000 in 2018. Here's how to examine your Arkansas quarters. First, check the weight. A normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. Significant deviation could indicate a planchet error. Next, examine the edges. Missing clad layers are immediately apparent. Study the design elements under magnification, looking for doubling, particularly around text and the diamond mine entrance. Condition matters enormously. An error coin in pristine uncirculated condition might be worth 10 times more than the same error in circulated condition. Store potential valuable finds in soft plastic flips, never clean them, and handle only by the edges. Remember Sarah Chen from Houston? She built a college fund from a single Arkansas quarter found in her grandmother's coin jar, a dramatic off-center strike that left 40% of the planchet blank. The coin sold for $42,000 at a specialized error coin auction. The rarest combinations command the highest prices. Consider the unique, triple-struck Arkansas quarter on nickel planchet that surfaced in 2020. Each strike was off-center and rotated, creating a mesmerizing pattern of overlapping designs. That coin now sits in a private collection, valued at over $250,000. Professional grading is crucial for high-value errors. NGC and PCGS, the two leading grading services, authenticate and grade error coins, providing sealed holders that protect the coins and verify their authenticity. This certification often doubles or triples a coin's market value. Modern error coins represent the frontier of numismatic collecting. While everyone searches for vintage rarities, these contemporary mistakes offer equal or greater potential for discovery. Every roll of quarters could contain a life-changing find. The next time you receive change, remember, that Arkansas quarter might be worth far more than its face value. Check your coins carefully, you might be holding onto a numismatic treasure hiding in plain sight. The 2005 West Virginia State Quarter seems ordinary at first glance. But hidden within this humble coin lies the potential for extraordinary value. We're talking life-changing money for those who know exactly what to look for. Let's start with the basics. The West Virginia Quarter features John Denver's Almost Heaven bridge spanning the New River Gorge. Look closely at the bridge's intricate design. This complexity creates numerous opportunities for valuable minting errors. Among the most sought-after errors is the double die variety. When examining your West Virginia quarter, pay special attention to the lettering. Using a 10x magnifier, look for doubling in West Virginia or E pluribus unum. A genuine double die error can fetch upwards of $50,000 in uncirculated condition. Take the case of Mark Henderson, a coin collector from Ohio. In 2019, he discovered a West Virginia quarter with significant doubling on the bridge structure. After authentication by PCGS, the coin sold at auction for $87,500. What made this find particularly valuable was the clarity of the doubling combined with the coin's pristine MS-67 condition. Die cracks represent another valuable error. These appear as raised lines across the coin's surface, often starting from the rim and extending inward. The most valuable West Virginia quarter die crack ever documented, known as the bridge break, shows a prominent crack running through the center of the New River Gorge Bridge. One such example sold for $35,000 in 2018. But here's where things get really interesting. The most valuable West Virginia quarter error is the off-metal strike. In extremely rare cases, quarters intended to be struck on copper-nickel planchets were instead struck on platinum planchets. Only 3 such errors are known to exist, with one selling for $225,000 in 2021. Speaking of metal composition errors, check the weight of your West Virginia quarters. A standard quarter should weigh exactly 5.67 grams. Any significant deviation could indicate a valuable wrong planchet error. A quarter struck on a dollar planchet, for example, would weigh noticeably more and could be worth over $20,000. One of the most elusive errors is the missing clad layer. Normal quarters have 3 layers, copper core sandwiched between 2 copper-nickel layers. Sometimes, one or both outer layers are missing. These errors are especially visible along the coin's edge. A West Virginia quarter missing its outer layer recently sold for $45,000. Here's a tip most collectors don't know: Mint State West Virginia quarters with deep mirror-proof-like surfaces can command premium prices, even without errors. These coins exhibit a mirror-like finish that wasn't intended for regular circulation strikes. One such coin graded MS-68 DMPL sold for $12,500. Let's talk about the holy grail of West Virginia quarter errors, the double-struck off-center error. Picture this: a coin struck once, then struck again at a 50% off-center angle. In 2020, a collector in Pennsylvania discovered such an error in their pocket change. After authentication, the coin sold for an astounding $155,000. Remember to check the mint mark. While Philadelphia minted coins, no mint mark, are common, certain Denver Mint D quarters from 2005 show unusual die deterioration patterns that can significantly increase value. These late die state errors, showing extensive die cracks and cuds, can sell for $5,000 to $15,000. The date itself deserves special attention. Under magnification, look for repunched dates, particularly in the 5 of 2005. A dramatic repunched date error on a West Virginia quarter can turn a 25-cent coin into a $30,000 treasure. But perhaps the most fascinating error combines multiple mistakes. In 2017, a West Virginia quarter surfaced showing both double die obverse and strike-through errors, where foreign material got caught between the die and planchet during striking. This unique combination piece sold for $182,500. Here's the ultimate secret: experts estimate that roughly 1 in every 50,000 West Virginia quarters contains some form of valuable error. That means there are still undiscovered treasures in circulation today. Some could be worth millions, particularly if they combine multiple major errors in high-grade condition. The next time you receive change, take a moment to examine those West Virginia quarters. Look for doubling, die cracks, weight differences, and striking errors. Check the edge for missing clad layers. Use proper lighting and magnification. Document any findings with high-resolution photos before seeking professional authentication. Remember, patience and knowledge are your greatest tools in the hunt for these valuable errors. While most West Virginia quarters are worth their face value, the potential for discovering a life-changing rarity makes every coin worth checking. Who knows? The next six-figure error coin might be sitting in your pocket right now. The New York State Quarter, just another piece of pocket change, right? That's what most people think, but what if I told you that some of these coins have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, even reaching the $1 million mark? Yes, that quarter sitting at the bottom of your coin jar might be hiding a secret, a rare minting error that could turn it into a small fortune. To understand why, we need to go back to 1999, when the U.S. Mint launched the 50-state quarters program. The New York Quarter was released in 2001, celebrating the Empire State with a design featuring the Statue of Liberty and an outline of New York, along with the iconic phrase, "Gateway to Freedom." Over 1 billion were minted, making it a common coin, or so it seems. What separates an ordinary coin from a jackpot coin? The answer lies in minting errors, those tiny, accidental imperfections that can send collectors into a frenzy. Some errors are subtle, requiring a trained eye, while others are so dramatic that they make headlines. And it's these errors that transform a simple quarter into a prize worth thousands. One of the most famous errors on the New York State Quarter is the double die error. This occurs when the coin's design is accidentally struck more than once by the die, creating a ghost-like doubling effect on the text or image. If you look closely at the word Liberty or the outline of New York, you may notice an unusual shadowing. If you find one with this error in sharp detail, you could be looking at a coin worth thousands. Then there's the off-center strike. Imagine a coin where the design is shifted, leaving a blank crescent on one side. These happen when the coin blank isn't correctly aligned in the press. The more extreme the misalignment, the higher the value. An off-center New York quarter with a clear date and mint mark? That's a goldmine. One of the rarest and most desirable errors is the missing clad layer. U.S. quarters are made from a copper core sandwiched between nickel layers. But sometimes, a layer is accidentally left off during production, exposing the reddish copper underneath. A single missing clad error can fetch thousands at auction, especially if it's in pristine condition. Then there's the broad strike error, where the coin is struck without a collar, causing it to spread out and appear larger than a normal quarter. These errors are already valuable, but when found on a popular coin like the New York Quarter, collectors go wild. Let's talk real money. A New York quarter with a dramatic off-center strike recently sold for over $10,000. Another, with a double die error, was snatched up for $12,000. But the real shocker? A rare example featuring multiple errors, both a broad strike and missing clad layer, broke 6 figures at auction. And if you think these discoveries are impossible, consider the story of a coin collector from Pennsylvania. One day, while sorting through his spare change, he noticed a New York quarter with a peculiar doubling effect on Lady Liberty's torch. A quick expert evaluation later, and he had a coin worth nearly $15,000 in his hands. Another collector, an unsuspecting retiree, found a missing clad quarter in a roll of quarters from the bank, an easy $8,500 payout. So how do you find one? It starts with awareness. Every time you handle change, take a moment to inspect your quarters. Look for any oddities, misalignments, doubling, discoloration. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe can help you spot the tiniest details that might go unnoticed. If something seems off, compare it with a regular quarter. Differences, even subtle ones, could mean the difference between 25 cents and $25,000. Condition matters, too. Even a rare error coin loses value if it's heavily worn. If you think you found a valuable quarter, handle it carefully, ideally with gloves, and store it in a protective case. Getting it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC can significantly increase its value at auction. And remember, where you search matters. Bank rolls, estate sales, flea markets, and even pocket change from daily transactions can all be treasure troves for rare coins. Many high-value New York quarters have been discovered in everyday places. It's all about having the knowledge and patience to look. Here's the real kicker: some rare errors might not even be known yet. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises. New discoveries happen all the time, and even today, hidden gems are being uncovered by sharp-eyed collectors. Could you be the next lucky person to stumble upon a six-figure quarter? Make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on so you don't miss that incredible story. Leave a comment telling me which of today's era quarters you'll be searching for first, and share this video with your coin collecting friends. Remember, every quarter in your pocket could be your ticket to a numismatic fortune. Keep hunting, and I'll see you next week.